and welcome to Beyond the Boundary. This is the 2015 season preview for the GWS Giants. My name is Nick Dyson. I'm joined by Josh Rickard and Vinay Lakshman as always. Now boys, the Giants, two huge inclusions in Joel Patfull and Ryan Griffin add to the age and experience of this squad. But Tom Boyd, Jonathan O'Rourke coming out, there's some huge exclusions as well.
Yeah, well, the last 3 years, GWS have lost to pick 1, pick 2 and pick 3. Jeez. So they are exiting, but they are getting good players in. Sorry about that. Patfull and Griffin coming in.
Well, when you've got that many draft picks that are so high, you know, surely part of the plan is also to have them as bait for future. You know, because clubs will come knocking when they see a young player who's a top 3 pick not being played. But you're right, O'Rourke is a big loss. We saw Dom Tyson, similar player, go out a couple of years ago to the Demons. We also saw Tom Boyd. I tell you what, before playing, you know, he played a couple of games, I think 2-3 games. Did not finish even a full season, has left already, packed his bags and gone to the Bulldogs. So
Absolutely. I mean, you look at it though, GWS have drafted pretty well the last few years. They've got these big key forwards. They know clubs are going to come and make offers. So, and they've got good return. As you said, Ryan Griffin was in the Tom Boyd deal. And they got pick 4, pick 6, pick 7.
Well, I think it's interesting, just quickly going through the picks. Jared Pickett, excellent player. Very, very good pick 4. Outside runner, will help their run. Caleb Marchbank, probably the best key defender in the draft. Paul Ahern, big slider, big slider. I think anyone had him in their top 10. Very talented running player as well. Paddy McKenna.
Big bolter, you mean?
Big bolter, sorry, slider. Other way around, Paddy McKenna, you know, another talented guy that we didn't predict at all.
So they've had a really good haul of young players who have really set them up. They've done well with those extra draft picks.
And pretty much all of them, you didn't expect GWS to take them when they were taken. So.
But we mentioned O'Rourke has left, but they've also lost Christian Jack, Sam Frost as well. So it's, you know, they've brought in some good players, but there's some of their best youngsters.
They are getting good in return though. I mean, to get pick 7, I think it was from Carlton for Mark Wiley and Christian Jacks, I thought was a bonus. That worked well in GWS's favour. So,
young players who are ready to sort of step up and take that next step into the top bracket of players at the club. Stephen Coniglio, Nick Haynes, Will Hoskin-Elliott, really ready to break out there.
Well, a lot of people forget that Stephen Coniglio was a pick 2.
Pick 2 he was.
He was injured a bit last year. Didn't get a great run at it. So I can see him taking a big step forward.
He's played 44 games now, so he's in that bracket of players that are really ready to break out.
Oh yeah, well you talk about young players to step up in the GWS team. It's almost everyone, pretty much, you know. Bar maybe a few, their entire team is young. But you're right. I think Stephen Coniglio is the big one for me. And another one I just want to mention is Dylan Shield. I think he has stepped up, definitely. But I reckon he's probably the number one, or almost, you know, barring Adam Treloar and Ryan Griffin and Callum Ward. He's one of the guys that can really become, you know, the staple of that club. So.
It's interesting with GWS in that, look at Gold Coast last season. They spent a significant amount of the season in the 8. Early on, before Ablett went down, we were actually, you know, considering would they actually cement themselves in the 8 that year. GWS, that's this year for them. So their original players, their base players, like Stephen Coniglio, they're ready to, you know, really cement themselves as really great competitors.
Absolutely.
Experience added, as we mentioned, with Patfull and Griffin, to go with Shaw, Ward, Davis and the like. Should make a big difference for them.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no better thing to have for a young side, to get around a young side, than experience. No matter how good of a player they are, obviously, if it's a bonus if they're a decent footballer. But if someone like a Josh Hunt wasn't the greatest player, he played his role at Geelong. What?
Vinay's not
poor old Josh Hunt.
Well, I'm just using him as an example because he's in front of me. But he had experience. He had 200 games behind him.
Had a premiership, didn't he?
Had a premiership behind him, so he had that experience, had that knowledge behind him to help develop these footballers.
I just want to quickly say, Geelong's habit of producing terrible players who've won a premiership. Who was that? I think Mark Blake or something? No, Trent West, that's it. But anyway,
back on the Giants.
One thing I wanted to say was that, you know, a lot of people said Gold Coast have Gary Ablett. They have a big star at their club, etc., etc. The Giants don't have a big star. You know, the best star they've got is Callum Ward. Now they've got Ryan Griffin, who to me is a star.
He's a star.
He is a marquee player. They finally got one now, Nick and Josh. So now I think, you know, and he's an experienced player, he's an intelligent footballer. This should create a change, I think, in their team, in their club culture, and just generally knowing that they've got such a well-renowned player.
Well, I hope Ryan Griffin smashes it, to be honest, because so many Bulldogs fans are wishing injury upon him, and I think that's just wrong.
That is very wrong.
I hope he smashes it this year.
There were some whispers recently that they didn't do a medical on him when he brought him to the club, and he's having a couple of injury troubles. But hopefully he can get over those and have a really big impact
well,
on the Giants.
GWS came out the other day and said that it's laughable. They don't know what anyone's talking about. Completely ruled it out.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Adam Tomlinson will become the big second key position forward behind Jeremy Cameron.
Absolutely.
With Tom Lloyd gone and Patton down with that ACL, unfortunately.
Yeah, Adam Tomlinson is a running machine, likened to Nick Riewoldt, and you know how much Nick Riewoldt runs.
Oh, yeah.
Tomlinson's got a terrific mark on him, can kick goals, runs all day. He'll become that second forward.
Was a high draft pick as well, if I remember correctly.
He'll become that second forward.
So you see him really pushing up the ground and Cameron staying at home.
Well, the other day, unfortunately, news came out that Jonathan Patton's headed to the US, CNE specialist. So that's not obviously great news. But hopefully he can get back on the park because he's a very talented footballer.
Guys, I just want to mention, we spoke about the experience that these guys will be basking in. We've got another premiership player, Shane Mumford.
Yeah.
A guy who has eons of experience, and he was injured for a bit last year, but being around him, these young mids, have only.
And he was absolutely dominating for a significant portion of last year.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be great if he
thought he'd go backwards,
Yeah, if he can put in 22 games of that kind of performance, that'll make a huge impact for the Giants.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's so intimidating too. He's a monster of a man.
Big money.
He intimidates Aaron Sandilands, I can tell you.
I don't think anyone intimidates Aaron Sandilands.
Now that leads us into what do we expect from the Giants in 2015 and what do we think they can come up with these young players? Another year under their belt, another pre-season under their belt.
Well, structurally, I think obviously Ryan Griffin slots straight into that midfield.
Yep.
He might have to prove himself.
Joel Paffel will go down into defence and take it forward, which will release Timmy Moore when he comes back. Timmy Moore is recovering from an ACL, but he is aiming for a round one return. Whether he gets there or not is a different story. But I think we'll see the more midfielders, young midfielders like Treloar, Green, Shield, spend a bit more time forward.
Yep.
And get their rest down there, especially with interchange rotations. I think we'll see that happen this year.
Yep.
When I think of the Giants, I think exciting. That's what I think. Because they are just packed to the brim now with exciting players that I would go to watch.
Yep.
We miss Devon Smith is another one who's just great to watch. Curtly Hampton is one that's coming along. Then we mentioned the forward line, Jeremy Cameron. It's a very, very exciting time to be a Giant, I think. And, they're quietly improving. And as Nick said, this is the big year for them, isn't it? Because this is sort of like the barometer year to see how far have we come in the last 2 years, 3 years.
This is their fourth year in the competition, so we should be able.
There you go.
We should be able to see. I mean, we saw it in parts last year, take it up to the really good teams. Yep. But this year, we want to see them beat.
They need to fly now because Gold Coast did it last year. Yep. They got off and used their wings, and I think now we're going to wait for them.
So having said that, would you be disappointed if you didn't see that big jump that you saw from Gold Coast last year?
I would be.
I definitely would because the only excuse I could see is a lack of list talent. They don't have that. They've got plenty of list talent. They've got a good coach.
Yep.
They've got top class facilities.
The only excuse they'd have would be injuries.
Yep.
If injuries hit them, obviously depth's going to come into it. They've got a lot of young players.
They've got plenty of depth.
They are without Patton, who's one of their most promising youngsters for the whole year. You've got to take that into account.
But they've still got guys like Tomlinson and all these guns.
That brings us into the pass mark that we've given GWS this year. It's probably a little bit soft, but we've said 13th to 16th. So we do want to see that big jump for them, but if they can finish 13th...
I'd say in the upper echelon of that pass mark, we'd want to see 13th.
I'd agree with you there, Nick. But 13th, what's that, 6 wins, 7 wins?
Yeah. 7 wins.
6, 7 wins? That's great. If the Giants can knock off 6, 7 sides, I would be very happy with how they're going.
Including one big team. I'd like to see them beat one big team.
Yes, definitely. Like Sydney last year. But on the other end of the scale, if they're below 16th, if they're in the bottom two, which they weren't in 2014, so if they actually go backwards, definitely you wouldn't be happy with that for the Giants. So that brings us to the end of the GWS Giants 2015 season preview. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.